In this video, I'm going to show you the only two ways that I use the Google Analytics for reporting interface. So the first thing that I use it for is just debugging to make sure that tracking is set up. The easiest way to do that is to go to the real-time overview here. This lets you know if people are on your site and what they're doing in real time on the site. It's really only useful for debugging. Don't get obsessed with looking at the real-time report, right? You're just here to make sure that the tracking is working the way you expect it to. The easiest way to do that, of course, is to go to your website and click around yourself and make sure that the events are firing the way you expect them to. Okay, cool. That's one. The next way is to actually do any sort of analysis or anything. Google Analytics 4 has a bunch of pre-built reports here that I literally never use. The only way I use Google Analytics is I create explorations. I completely skip the reports tab here and I just go straight to building explorations. Explorations are really simple once you get used to them. You have the palette over here, or the palette and the canvas over here, right? That's what I call them. I always like to start super simple, right? Google Analytics is event-based. So what I want to see is the raw data, i.e. the events, right? The events before any interpretation is applied to that, right? So I would come in here and I would just get a simple table of all of the events that are firing. You notice here that it's limited to 10. You can change that by showing 250 rows. That'll probably be every single event. This being a Shopify store, what I care about most is the purchase event. But here's all the events that are firing into Google Analytics. Takes 15 seconds to pull this up. Okay, cool. All right. So I've got my events. Like I said, this is a Shopify store, so I'm probably most interested in the purchase event. So what I do is I add a filter and I say the event name exactly matches purchase. All right, cool. I go like that. And now you can see there, I've got the number of purchase events that fired. I never look at conversions or key events or whatever Google Analytics calls it these days because they are just events. Google Analytics 4 is all about events. All right, so now I've got my purchase event here, right? One real quick way to find out what's going on is to look at this over time. Right? So I select the time chart and I can see things over time. I often increase the date range so I get a nice long sense of when the events are firing. One thing that I really like about Google Analytics is this anomalies feature. Okay, you can see there the little dots here tell you that there was an anomaly detected. You can tweak the anomaly detection. High sensitivity is going to give you more. Low sensitivity is going to give you super low. Doesn't matter, right? I'm getting a quick sense for what's going on here. And I can see that purchases spiked on March 31st. All right, that's interesting. What happened on March 31st? Okay, pretty much the only other dimension that I use super commonly is the session source medium, right? So that is going to be this one in particular, right? There are many, many, many different attribution fields. If you just search for source medium, there's a ton of them, right? All of those. The only ones I use are session source medium. The other ones don't really work, right? So just use session source medium. You want to import it into the dimensions, into the palette, right? So we're going to go session source medium, right? I'm going to import that one, confirm, cool. And then I'm going to put this back in a table. I've got my purchase event that I'm filtering for now. So I really don't need that as a row anymore, right? What I want here is the breakdown of purchases based on source medium. So now I can see it, right? Now I can see very, very quickly. All right, most of the traffic is coming from direct. Some of it's coming from Google organic. Very, very interesting. Let's flip back over to that line chart view, right? There are our anomalies broken down by source medium. Right now they're broken down. You can see here that on April 12th, I had a spike in Google Organic. I had a spike in Google Organic on March 31st, which was the big one, right? Okay, cool. So that tells me very quickly, I can see what's going on here with just two dimensions, event name, session source medium, and the event count. Obviously, you can drill down further and look at specific things, maybe landing pages, stuff like that. But I'm going to follow this same basic process, looking at tables and line charts, filtering for specific events, and looking up session source mediums in the Explorer tab. I never use the built-in reports. They are functionally useless, in my opinion, in Google Analytics. Okay, hope that's helpful. Let us know if you'd like to see anything else modeled in Google Analytics. Happy to show you how to do that.